Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we are in the Pilbara region, as you can probably tell. We just left Ballara station this morning, about a 5-hour drive kind of north and east, and we are near Tom Price now. So about 15 minutes from town, we're at this awesome free camp, and it's got the ranges behind us. So yeah, this is where we're starting the Pilbara.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little free camp here, as Lockie said. And yeah, we're very excited to be exploring Karijini. We haven't done it before, so we don't really know what to expect, but we've heard great things. Going to do a couple of gorges and a few walks, so yeah.
So we're just leaving camp now and heading to Tom Price. We're going to kind of restock up on everything.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful spot, and there's heaps of different spots you can go. You can fit like heaps of people in there. But yeah, we're going to restock on some food, water. Top
up the water, dump the toilet. So yeah, Tom Price actually has a Coles, which we were pretty surprised about.
Yeah.
And it's got water fill up, dump point, all the kind of essentials you need. And then we're going to head over, I think, to the other side of Karijini and maybe do Mount Meharry today. Alright guys, so we just got to camp, and pretty similar to yesterday, it's just another free camp. On Wiki Camps it's called Karijini Free Camp, and it's pretty much just east of the national park, hence why the dogs were allowed here. But it's pretty good because it's only about kind of 10 minutes back to the side of the national park and kind of 20 minutes back to kind of Knox Gorge area. So we're actually going to head down south and do Mount Meharry this afternoon, and then come back here, and then tomorrow we'll tackle some of the gorges in the national park. Alright guys, so we're just on the Mount Meharry track. If some of you don't know, Mount Meharry is the tallest mountain in WA, and luckily enough you can actually drive to the top of it. So it's got an elevation of 1,249 metres above sea level, and yeah, it's about a 21 kilometre full drive track to the top, with kind of the top 3 kilometres being the kind of incline and the tougher part. This first part's just a bit corrugated and a bit rough, but yeah, probably take us a couple of hours get up and back. So yeah, hopefully we're down before sundown. Alright guys, so about 6k from the end, there's a first little kind of hill climb, you call it, not too bad, but pretty much to gauge if you struggle on that, you probably should turn around because this is going to be a lot harder. But you pretty much go up this hill now, the next 3k's, and get right on top of the ridge line and get to the end. So we'll see how we go.
Guys, so I'm sure on a lot of 4Drive videos that you watch, you can't really get the gist of things till you're actually here in the moment, but I just sort of wanted to point out this little step up, because when you get up to the track here, there's sort of two ways to go, but these are quite some big rocks, so we decided to stick to the left-hand side. You could go on that side, but yeah, just with our tyre size and stuff, we aim to go this way. And yeah, epic view so far, but the angle is pretty big in real life. So yeah, almost at the top. Not too bad, but yeah, it's pretty steep.
Made it to the top of Mount Meharry,
Phew.
tallest mountain in WA, and we're officially the highest people on land, which is pretty cool. We came up the track and reminds me a little bit of Blue Rag in the Vic High Country. Very steep, rutted out, kind of wombat hole type stuff. Obviously quite different terrain with real shaly rock and quite dry. But just similar feeling, you're driving up a ridge line. Not as scary and probably not as hard as Blue Rag, but a similar feel. So I probably wouldn't recommend if you don't have a diff lock, if you're on kind of 31s or kind of stock suspension. So probably got to have 33s or yeah, have a diff lock. It can get a bit kind of wombat holey and a bit shaly, so you lose a bit of traction. Otherwise, come with another person if you're feeling a bit uneasy. But yeah, we made it to the top and we're going to enjoy the view and then head back down.
Good morning everyone. So we made it to Fortescue Falls and we're the only car, so we're happy. We did decide to come a bit earlier this morning. I think it's almost 8 o'clock now, because we just wanted to experience the falls and Fern pools without the big crowd.
Yeah, we probably won't go for a swim this early, but we
No.
heard it gets really busy like just before lunch, and it can be really packed. So we wanted to come check it out. It's not a far walk, so
yeah,
we'll have a look.
We might be back this afternoon if it is hot and come for a swim. But yeah, we just wanted to see it without everyone being there. And yeah, it's our first little gorge of Karijini. Alright everyone, we have got the place to ourselves. Absolute score. It is incredible here. That was such an easy, it's like 800 meter return walk just down the stairs. But wow, this is incredible. Just the rocks and the water, it just looks amazing.
So we just checked out Fern Pool, and it was pretty nice having no one there, but it was quite shady too. We felt the water though, it wasn't too cold.
We felt the water and it was actually not that bad.
Pretty warm for first thing in the morning. But anyway, we're gonna go back to Fortescue and then we're gonna walk the Dales Gorge Trail, which goes down the guts of the gorge and out to the other side, which kind of pops out near the picnic area. And then we walk back to the car and maybe come back down for a swim when the sun's on Fern Pool later on.
We're just heading right around the falls. So, and then go this way. Yeah. And then you pop out and you're on the other side. Right. Lucky we got the trusty Crocs on. Might get a bit wet today.
We've done pretty much the guts of the gorge now, and as you can see, we've got to go up there. So we've done that first part from Fortescue Falls to here in like 25 minutes. So, I mean, if you're pretty young and fit and agile, you can cut a lot of time off that. It's an hour and 45 one way, which is a bit full on. But yeah, we've still got this to go, so let's get going. We just finished the Dales Gorge Trail and we headed back to the car for a little snack and some water.
Yeah.
And it's about, I think, 9:30 now. So we're going to head down back again to...
Back down the stairs.
Back down the stairs to Fern Pool and have a swim now. I mean, if you wanted to like do it like normal people, you'd probably park up the other end towards Circular Pool car park and walk down the gorge and then swim at Fern Pool and then walk back to the car. but we wanted to come check it out while no one was down here, and we've already seen the numbers are increasing over the last hour by a lot.
It's still early, and car park's almost full, so.
But yeah, and just a quick note too on the walk. If you're kind of young and fit and do a bit of walking, it definitely doesn't take the time recommended. They were saying kind of 3 hours for the 4K loop. We did it in about an hour and 15. So
and wear your Crocs, because in some of the bits that you actually got to walk through the water.
Yeah.
So if you have Crocs or anything like sort of watery shoes, that also helps too. Yeah,
because it can be kind of, depending on the rain and whatnot, can be quite wet through there. And it was pretty wet when we went. So we're in Fern Pool. Definitely a bit colder than when we first touched it, but it's not too bad.
No, it's good once you're in.
Good once you're in. After a nice walk. Swim into the waterfall. Try and get underneath it.
Alright guys, so we're back at camp now. Dale's Gorge and that whole little area was awesome. We left the dogs here at camp. We were only gone for 4 hours, and we had a little shady spot, so it was really cool inside of the van actually. But yeah, we're back now, had some lunch. And we're hitched up and we're going to head to another free camp pretty much back on the other side near Mount Bruce. Because we're going to tackle Mount Bruce tomorrow, and then we're also going to tackle kind of the west side of the national park, so Hancock Gorge and Knox Gorge. Yeah.
A few of them around there, so yeah, better probably 40-minute drive, so not too bad.
Alrighty guys, so for this RV we thought we'd come and do Knox Gorge. It's only a 2-kilometre loop, so we thought it's not too big of a one to do. And there is a little swimming hole at the end, so we might have a swim as well because it's pretty hot.
Yeah, they do say 3 hours and it's class 5, but I mean, we did a class 4 today in like a third of the time, so
yeah,
probably take us 2 hours I reckon, and yeah, hopefully we can have a swim at the end.
Alright guys, so we just came up this shaly little bit. It's a bit gnarly, and now we're just heading down to the bottom.
The scrabble down into the gorge, and kind of 500 meters in there's quite a nice pool that you can swim in, and then there's a bit of a kind of rock climb you got to do
Around.
around the kind of bend, which is quite tight. But then there's another kind of stagnant pool here which I probably wouldn't swim in, but we've got to keep going to the end. Apparently there's another pool there.
There's not really a pool at the end. It's sort of barricaded off. Where you
Well, there's like this little kind of stream, but it's a bit stagnant and shallow for a swim. And then yeah, it's got a gorge risk area sign, so you can't go any further than that. But yeah, still cool to go down there and check it out. There's a cool little crevice and gap through it. So gonna make our way back now. So we completed Knox Gorge and it was pretty awesome. I reckon though, if you are to come, try and come around midday, because I reckon the sun would shine right down kind of the gorge and it'd look even cooler. But it was still cool. We got some parts sun, some in the shade, so you see all the different colours of red. But it took us just under an hour walking time, probably an hour and 20 minutes, but that's because we had a swim down there.
Took some
photos and videos, so yeah, definitely, I mean, I don't think 3 hours, but pretty much just gorge walking, pretty easy. The only hard part's kind of the scramble up and down.
It's actually just worse going down. Going up's not that bad. You can sort of climb a bit more. But yeah, that was definitely worth doing. Alrighty guys, so we're back at camp. I thought I'd do another little dinner meal because we haven't done one of these in a while, but I've got, it's sort of just an Asian dish we've sort of just made up, but I've got some turkey meatballs, just whatever veggies you like. I've got some onion on the go. This is just stuff that we could find. I've got some coconut milk, some vermicelli rice noodles, which will go in it as well. And then for your flavouring, this is the best, if you know you know. And then I basically just put in these three as well and just mix it all in one pot, and it's really easy. And yeah, that's sort of our little Asian curry dish. Alrighty, so that's all starting to cook now. We just want to make sure it's all browned off before we add in this, and we'll add in that, and then you put in your bok choy and your spring onions right at the end. And then in here I've just put hot water, and that's the noodles cooked, which I'll also add in the end. Okay, now we're just gonna bring this to a simmer. I put in like a heaped teaspoon of the curry paste, but you can just do that to your own tasting. I've put in the milk as well, and yeah, we're just gonna bring that to a simmer and then add in the rest of the veggies.
Good morning guys, another early morning. We're here at Mount Bruce and we're going to tackle the summit. So it's the second highest peak in WA after we did Mount Meharry in the 4-wheel drive, and it's a 9-kilometre trek. It's say about 6 hours and a 450 metre gain with a class 5 rating. Meant to be a bit scrambly and rock climbing, but yeah, we're up nice and early to try and beat the heat, so let's get going.
Alright, little almost half an hour check. We're nearly at the 2k mark. How you going, Knox?
Yeah, good. Pretty easy so far. I'll probably classify it. I mean, I know it's going to get harder, but classify the first half as like class 3, I reckon.
Yeah, we've only really had about one little scraggly sort of bit, which isn't even that bad because all the rocks are pretty sturdy. So we've gone over that part of the mountain. Now we've got this beast to go over and then up to the top of the big boy.
Alright guys, the first big incline coming up. Looks pretty gnarly at the top there, just a sheer cliff. So we just came from up here, big drop off. Now you gotta go up this little really sketchy part. Made up to the summit of Mount Bruce, and it's pretty epic views up here. Even the walk up here was awesome views the whole way.
Yeah, because you're sort of going like along the ridge line and following it. So it's actually not super gnarly steep until probably that last little bit's a bit.
Yeah, there's kind of two main inclines. The first one's quite steep and rocky and like real like cliffy.
Yeah.
And then the second one's more just long and like kind of windy. But yeah, I wouldn't call it that hard. There's like that little scary bit on the kind of the cliff where you walk around. So if you're not good with kind of
heights,
yeah, narrow spaces on a cliff edge, then maybe not for you. But apart from that, wasn't that far.
Yeah.
Bad. I clocked 5k to the top though, so a bit over kind of what they say, 4.5. And we did it in just over an hour and a half, so about an hour and 40 minutes to the top, which is a pretty good effort. So we'll...
And over on this side too, you can have a look into the mining as well, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's got beautiful views of all the mountains around.
Alright guys, so we finished the Mount Bruce walk. It was an awesome walk, a few little challenges, but
yeah,
fairly...
it's quite a fun little walk because it's got like really nice views the whole way as well, which is good.
Yeah, it took us 3 hours walking time. We're just at the car park now, and we spent all up 3.5. We spent about half an hour up there and a few little stops for water along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely come early if you can because it gets hot.
It's so hot right now. Like...
Yeah, we see people walking up now at 10 o'clock and we're like, oh gee. But yeah. I mean, if you are going to come middle of the day, bring a lot of water because you'll need it.
Yeah, the whole track's in the sun. So
yeah. Alright guys, after our big walk this morning at Mount Bruce, we're at Joffre Gorge. So we have to do the drive back out, but it's just down the road from Knox. But yeah, we're going to go down and do the 1.3k walk down to the kind of Joffre Waterfall and swimming hole. So yeah, not too big of a walk, which is what we want, and just a nice cool off.
Gorge. It's not really a walk at all, it's just going down a few steep stairs, so just take your time. But if you go to the left once you're at the bottom of the stairs, there's this awesome little look of a gorge. Unfortunately you can't swim in there, but it's a pretty cool spot to take some photos.
Yeah, it says it's a gorgeous area from here on, so you're not meant to go further. But that's back on the stairs and to the waterfall and the actual swimming hole that way.